Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Jedi Modi Sports Betting. In this video, I am giving you my favorite NBA bets for today, Wednesday, April 19th, using oddsjam to find the best NBA bets for you guys today. Another awesome slate of playoff basketball. We have 3 games on the docket for tonight. We have Lakers at the Grizzlies in what's kind of a bummer, the Ja Morant injury, but going to be a really fun series. We have the Heat versus Bucks. Obviously, huge news regarding Giannis's injury there. And then the last game we have, not quite as fun, Timberwolves versus the Nuggets. So in this video, I have 4 bets for you guys to lock in: 2 point spreads, 1 total, 1 player prop, and let's get right into it. The first play that we are locking in here is the Lakers plus 1.5 at minus 125 odds at BetMGM. So yes, this is a little bit juiced getting it at those minus 125 odds, but I think that this is an absolutely incredible play. As you can see on the screenshot here from oddsjam, pretty wild swings in terms of where this spread is priced at. We see odds range all the way from Lakers minus 1.5 to Lakers plus 1.5, which is a pretty big deal in the grand scheme of things. It's like a 3-point difference between the two sports books. Now, obviously, the biggest news here is the Ja Morant injury. As of right now, he is currently listed as questionable. I am projecting that he will not play in this game. And I know that it's risky betting on the away team to win the first 2 games, but I do like the Lakers a lot in this spot. I just think that without Ja Morant, it's going to be way too difficult for the Grizzlies to score. And the Lakers, somehow, after all their crazy roster machinations, actually have decent scoring options, right? Austin Reeves is a stud, not scared to get his own shot. Schroeder, Russell, not perfect players by any means, but 2 players that can get their own buckets. And obviously we have AD and LeBron as well, surrounded by pretty good defensive weapons as well, like a Jared Vanderbilt is a great defender. Hachimura has even been playing better as well. So I think that a lot of things are in favor, a lot of points are in favor for the Lakers in this one. So we are riding with them. Lakers plus 1.5, minus 125 odds at BetMGM as our first play. Next up, in the second game, we have Heat versus Bucks. So we are riding with the Bucks, minus 8, minus 110 odds at Bet365. So I mentioned a playoff betting strategy in yesterday's video where if the home team loses game 1, bet them against the spread in game 2. And then also if a team is favored by 4 or more points, loses, bet them in the following game. Now, this one is obviously a little bit different because the Bucks were missing Giannis. So that's obviously a huge deal. So it wasn't like they lost at full strength. But I am still riding with the Bucks in this one. I do think Giannis is going to play. And honestly, even if he doesn't play, I still think I would like the Bucks to cover the spread. And that's where the value is as well. As we see, Bet365 offers this at minus 8 at minus 110 odds. Pretty much every other sportsbook except for one has this spread at 8.5. And we also see spreads all the way up to Bucks minus 9.5. Another reason why I like this one, we see a decent amount of sportsbooks that price this at minus 8.5 actually still favor the Bucks at that number, right? Look at sharp sportsbooks like Pinnacle, favors the Bucks at minus 8.5. BetOnline favors the Bucks at minus 8.5, a half point better, and they still think the more likely scenario is that the Bucks cover. So we are riding with Bucks minus 8. I absolutely love this one. Again, even if Giannis doesn't play, I'm still pretty confident that the Bucks are going to cover the 8-point spread. Without Tyler Hero, the Heat just cannot generate any offense. And Jimmy Butler is incredible. He's worn down in playoff series before. Now, yes, sure, this is only the second game of this series, but he still did have to play 2 play-in games, 2 pretty rough play-in games to get here. So he's actually not that well rested, despite this only being game 2 of the series. So I think that the Bucks just going to be able to just totally choke out the Heat offense in this one, cover the 8-point spread, minus 110 odds at Bet365. My third play, the total, as we can see here, we are locking in Timberwolves versus Nuggets to go under 224. This is at minus 110 odds at PointsBet. Pretty similar logic here for liking the Heat versus Bucks. Just look at the value. Every other book prices this at 223.5. except for one, but that book still favors the under at 224. So PointsBet also offering it at 224 at minus 110 odds. Pretty decent outlier. Pinnacle prices this at 223.5 while still favoring the under. They have the under at minus 113, the over at plus 100. The Timberwolves, they just can't score. They just can't score. And the Nuggets, as incredible as their offense is, they might not need to do anything. Now, I'm not necessarily projecting the Timberwolves to be as gross as they were in game one. I'm also not confident that they're going to be that much better. Karl Anthony Towns looked terrible. Anthony Edwards, personally, I think is still injured because he really hasn't looked good for a while now. So we're betting on the value here, this game to go under 224. And then my last play, the player prop that we are locking in here is Nikola Jokic to go under 23.5 points. This is at minus 115 odds at FanDuel. So there's a couple reasons why I really like this one. Number one, just look at the screenshot that you see on the screen here. Majority of sportsbooks price Jokic's over-under at 22.5. Not only that, a lot of them favor his under as well. A lot of this is just line shopping and looking for the best value. But we see a pretty decent amount of sportsbooks, including the sharp ones, price Jokic's total at 22.5 while still favoring that number going under. Look at BetMGM, the under at minus 120, the over at minus 110. Look at Caesars, look at Betway, look at BetOnline, look at Pinnacle, all these different sportsbooks pricing it a full point lower at 22.5 while favoring the under. And even if you look at the 23.5, two sportsbooks price it, FanDuel at minus 115, BetRivers all the way at minus 152. Just an insane difference between the two sportsbooks for the same exact play. Now, Jokic is amazing. This is not a fade of Jokic. This is more so a fade of the Timberwolves and Jokic not needing to do anything. Jokic scored like 14 points in game one. He might get to 20 in this game, but he also might not need to score. It also could be a game where he just passes. He ends with 19 assists, something crazy. So the value here is telling us that Jokic is going to go under. I absolutely love this play as my player prop for the night. And that's it. So 4 bangers for you guys to lock in. Again, 2 spreads, 1 total, 1 player prop. If you're tailing, comment and let me know. Would love to hear it. Please remember, other than that, like, comment, subscribe. Hit me up at my Twitter handle you see on the screen here. And that's it. So I appreciate everybody for watching and have a good one.